Hello, everybody. The Pats Pulpit pregame the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Alec, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm all right, buddy. It's Thursday night. It's got a very similar feel to this last Thursday Night Football of last year, if you ask me, when the Texans were coming to New England to play the Jacoby Brissett-led Patriots, and neither you nor I had any idea what to expect. Kind of got the same vibe for me going on. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel right now.
Are you feeling a Patriots blowout victory here?
You know what? It's all signs. I'll wait till the end of the show to get my predictions out, but there's a very similar vibe, pregame vibe here, where there's a really hot team kind of coming in. The Patriots are a team in flux, a lot of question marks at a different position or different grouping, I should say, this time. And everyone seems to be scratching their head, no clue what to expect. And I kind of just have that same vibe here. Will I predict a blowout victory? Time will tell.
Oh, well, we'll have that in about 20 minutes or so. First, let's go down the inactives for this game. We know for the New England Patriots that running back Rex Burkhead will not play, nor will cornerback Eric Rowe, defensive tackle Alan Branch, offensive lineman Cole Croston, linebacker Harvey Lange, tight end Rob Gronkowski, which is a big one, and then offensive tackle Adrian Waddle. Few thoughts on this immediately from my side of it. Adrian Waddle being inactive means that Cameron Fleming is that number 3 guy. Alan Branch being inactive means that the defensive tackle Mount Lawrence guy, and then clearly Gronkowski's absence should have a big impact on offense. Let's start with the offensive side of the ball. Alec, what do you think about the Patriots offense without Rob Gronkowski?
You know, it's very easy to sit here and be like, without Gronk, they're not good, but they proved last year without Gronk, they are good. No Edelman either. So those are kind of the two big pieces that make that offense run last year. It's just too bad because Gronkowski, I think, would have had a field day against a mismatched and overmatched Buccaneers secondary. They're going to be okay because I feel like their strategy, which you can talk about in a bit, will be a little less on Gronk and more about spreading out the linebackers and using their passing backs and their short routes. But obviously, Gronk's more hurt than he lets on. It's a thigh injury, which is interesting. He was hurt with the groin when he actually went out against the Saints. And so I'm curious to see actually how hurt he is, hoping they're taking some precautionary measures, having the long week, a little mini bye coming into Sunday. But obviously the offense is better with Gronkowski in, but I think they'll be okay offensively without him today.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned the weakness of the Tampa Bay secondary that Gronkowski should have been able to take advantage of. They will be without their 2 starting linebackers, Levante David and Quan Alexander. They will be starting rookie linebacker Kendall Beckwith, who's actually been doing pretty well, but he is a rookie, and Tom Brady should hopefully be able to take advantage of him. And then at the second level, or I guess the third level, in the secondary, they will be without starting strong safety TJ Ward or his replacement Keith Tandy. So they are very limited with their players that they use to cover tight ends. And so important matchups that I will be watching this game is with Dwayne Allen, who is the player I'm assuming will replace Gronkowski as that every snap tight end that New England likes to have out there for versatility's purpose. This is why they acquired him. They thought that he would be the necessary backup in case Gronkowski were hurt. I think that Allen is going to finally make his first catch of the season. Hopefully this will be what he needs to get off the schneid. He's been targeted 6 times, has 0 receptions. That's the matchup I'm going to watch. I'm going to be watching Allen, who has not done anything on offense as a receiver this year, versus whatever 5th string player the Bucs are putting out there. I think that should be a good matchup to watch.
It definitely should. I'm also going to see what Allen's doing as a blocker. I feel like he's had some effect as a blocking tight end. And the Patriots can run the ball against his Buccaneers defense. They're a little weak against the run, especially with their linebackers out. They have good edge defenders, but they're a little weaker in the middle of the field. Could be a big day for Mike Gillislee. And if they motion Allen effectively to the weak side, to the strong side, to some stretch runs, there could be a great way to control the clock, keep Tom Brady on the field, and keep that defense off the field, which should be a recipe for success today.
Yeah, absolutely. So of the matchups that you're seeing, which one are you going to be looking out for?
I think the big one I'm looking out for, honestly, is Gerald McCoy against, I'm guessing, Nate Solder. Nate Solder's having a rough season so far. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Gerald McCoy is okay, I guess. He's kind of decent as a edge rusher. Tom Brady's had a hard time staying upright, and as everybody knows, there's no secret to beating the Patriots on offense. It's just limiting Tom Brady's snaps, hitting him a lot, hitting him often, getting him rattled, especially from that blind side. If he starts hearing footsteps and there aren't any, you force him into mistakes, you get him throwing that fade off the back foot, that Could be caught if Gronkowski's out there, but since he's not, I don't know if Brandon Cooks is the guy to get that ball. So I think that's the biggest matchup today on offense is Nate Solder getting his groove back, getting his game back against probably one of the better edge rushers in the league.
Buccaneers, Gerald McCoy, I mean, he's been a multi-time All-Pro. They actually like to use him against the guards as well. So see him get a lot of opportunities against Joe Thuney and Shaq Mason on the interior where, you know, if Tom Brady gets pressured in the middle, historically that has been the way to disrupt his kind of momentum over the course of the game. And that's what the Buccaneers are looking at. They've been seeing the weakness at the offensive tackle with Solder and Marcus Cannon. And if you have Gerald McCoy able to make noise in the middle, that could be kind of a big game if it's going to disrupt the Patriots offense without Edelman, without Gronkowski, without those safety blankets. This could be a very big game for James White out of the backfield if he's going to replace both Gronk and Edelman as Brady's safety blanket. I also have to say that I hope that Chris Hogan or Brandon Cooks, if not both of them, bring their A game, maybe even Danny Amendola. Buccaneers have a really good cornerback in Brent Grimes. But their other two, Vernon Hargreaves has been a sieve on defense. He's been really allowing a lot of opportunities towards the outside. And then Robert McClain is their slot corner, and Pro Football Focus rates him as one of the worst in the league. So Danny Amendola should have a lot of opportunities out there. Step up. This is why the Patriots had such great depth on the offense over the offseason, where one injury couldn't derail them. Two might be able to kind of slow them down, but hopefully they have enough ability on offense just to kind of keep them going.
Yeah, definitely. Again, there's not really again, Gronkowski, as I mentioned, is a blow, but I think just based on the way the Buccaneers play defense, he could have had a big game today, but it's not that he's the focal point of the offense. If I'm Josh McDaniels today, I'm not really focusing on him exclusively. I think this is the day for the backs, Mike Gillislee as well. I think Rex Burkhead would have had a big day today as a slot receiver if he was able to be played today, but unfortunately he's not. A lot of James White, maybe Deion Lewis gets some more reps today as well. As we said, Quan Alexander's out, Levante David is out. An entire secondary besides Grimes is a little suspect. And so if you can get those mismatches Tom Brady likes to exploit, he loves going after rookies. I think it's a very heavily matchup in favor of the Patriots after that front line. The real question is, can the offensive line hold up against a pretty solid pass rush?
Front. When it comes to pass rushing, as you said, they might have a little bit of a liability against the run without any of their normal players at that second level at linebacker. So we'll see. Maybe James Devlin will find out to be kind of the hero of this offense. But who is your X factor? Who's the player that you really want to shine today on offense that could give New England the edge?
I'm going to stay in the tight ends until we talked about Dwayne Allen. I'm going to say Cody Hollister. I think he might be a real weird guy you see for maybe 5 or 6 snaps.
His twin, Jacob.
Excuse me, Jacob Hollister. Excuse me. I can't tell them apart. That's why they're twins. They freak me out. Twins are weird, man. Jacob Hollister, I think he's active today, and he will be he's a big guy. He's got some good catches this season. I don't think he'll play a huge factor in the Patriots win if they do win, but it's X factor, not huge factor. I think he's one of those guys. He might be a mismatch problem that you don't really see coming.
You're going to come out here, and Jacob, you're going to be our receiving tight end. We're going to split up and divide our 2 roles for Gronkowski with 2 different players. Maybe that'll be something to monitor. That's something that could be fun. My X factor is going to be James White. I touched on him a little bit. I believe that he and Tom Brady have the best rapport on that offense. He has always stepped up when needed. I think that he's going to have an opportunity to see 10 to 15 targets this game, if not 15 to 20 touches. I wouldn't be shocked if they gave him some delayed draws. He should be the one that ultimately replaces it. I think that Cooks and Hogan will have their opportunities out there, but it's going to be White that helps move the chains, gives the Patriots a fresh set of downs, and allows Tom Brady to really throw the ball down the field for some of those home run plays. Looking at the other side of the ball, though, as we've said, they're not going to have Alan Branch there. Doug Martin back. They have Jacquizz Rodgers, who's a good running back as well, on the Patriots defense facing this Buccaneers offense.
Yeah, Alan Branch not even making the trip is very interesting to me. I know he's had his snaps diminish over the coming weeks, and I figured this would be the game where he might actually be a useful part of this offense because Doug Martin's his first game back off the injury. Jacquizz Rodgers is running well. Obviously, the way to beat the Patriots, well, in 2017, you just throw the ball, you beat the Patriots. However, traditionally, historically, you beat the Patriots by keeping Tom Brady off the field with long, sustained drives with a running game and with a mobile quarterback like Jameis Winston who's capable of bootlegging out and keeping plays alive with his legs. I feel like a strong running game, establishing the run early, would be a really good way to throw the Patriots off their game a little bit. So what I'm going to do if I'm New England is I'm going to defend the middle of the field. I'm going to force Jameis Winston to thread the needle, maybe go over top with the safeties, and try to find the mismatches in the secondary. Because I feel like the secondary, if you do maybe Stephon Gilmore on Mike Evans, and then you do Malcolm Butler on Deshaun Jackson, and you use some safety help over the top with Evans, I feel like Butler's a good matchup against Deshaun. I feel like he can step with him. I think their size-wise and their personnel-wise matches up well. It's that middle of the field I'm worried about. And if the Buccaneers can establish the run early, get those shallow crosses, get those slants, those drag routes, could be another really long day for the defense.
Yeah, I'm very concerned with the Patriots matchups when they're on the defensive side of the ball, because Mike Evans is top 5 wide receiver in the league. He's just an incredible talent. And honestly, I think that Jameis Winston has some struggles with his accuracy. And if there were any other quarterback throwing him the ball, Mike Evans up there with the Julio Jones as far as everyone's concerned as that top 3 guy alongside Antonio Brown. But if I'm the Patriots, I put Stephon Gilmore, Mike Evans, press coverage. I would not put the 5'10 Malcolm Butler in coverage of Evans at any given time. Maybe if Eric Rowe were healthy, he would have an opportunity to match up with Evans with some safety help. That is no longer an option with Rowe inactive. So Gilmore is really the only other player I would trust to put out there. I would actually propose a different matchup in the secondary. I would put Butler on slot corner Adam Humphries, who is very, very productive. 14 catches, 156 yards this year. He really gets the chains moving. I say that because I don't trust Malcolm Butler in coverage of Deshaun Jackson with those double moves. I think that's asking for the Patriots secondary to get burned again with a potential mismatch. I put Jonathan Jones out there. I think that Jonathan Jones has been used in the past to cover some of these speedy guys. I think they ask him to do that again. This could be the game where the Patriots ask their defenders to kind of just man up throughout the entire game. They'll provide him some help with safeties and linebackers, but you have one corner per one wide receiver. Hopefully that simplifies responsibilities and roles. Patriots can, throw in some zone if they settle into a groove, but I think they need to further simplify it again. But really, I'm looking at the middle of the field, as you said. I'm looking at the Humphreys with who Butler going to cover him in the slot. It's Cameron Brate. Very, very talented receiver. 10 catches, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns over 3 games. First round pick, O.J. Howard, 4 catches, 92 yards, and a touchdown. You add in the running backs who can also catch the ball out of the backfield with Rodgers and Doug Martin. Humphreys as that slot guy. There could be a lot of opportunities for the Buccaneers to kind of settle themselves into a groove and move down, especially because the New England Patriots linebackers have shown an ability to bite on the play action. And so the Patriots' first step to stopping the Buccaneers this week is to not let the Buccaneers run game dictate how they play. They can't let them get into any sort of, a continuous delivery. They have to say, we're going to stay at home against the pass. We're going to be smart against the run. We can't have a Landon Roberts running after the tight end to try and blow up around the edge, but instead have the running back go right up the gut. You can't overcommit. Can do that, maybe they'll have a first step or two in the right direction.
So, Rich, where do you see the defensive come out in terms of a base formation? We going 3-4, 4-3, little base big nickel. How do you see the Patriots marching out their first formation against the Buccaneers today?
Depends on who the Buccaneers are throwing out there. If they have both tight ends on the field with Brate and Howard, then as you said, you go with the big nickel. You have to have Patrick Chung out there with Harmon and McCourty, and then hopefully they'll only have 2 other wide receivers out there, probably Evans, who should be an every down guy, and Deshaun Jackson. Does that mean that Butler gets benched? I don't know. Maybe those are the opportunities that Butler gets to cover Jackson. That's kind of the matchup game that the Buccaneers will have to consider to see if it's worth their time to kind of go that way, because Humphreys has been very, very productive for them. So it is a matchup. If Humphreys is out there, you go with 3 cornerbacks. If it's 2 tight ends, you go with 3 safeties. I don't think that there will be too many times where the Patriots will have a true defensive front 7, especially with Alan Branch not out there. That is a very big point of concern. They cannot suffer any injuries on the interior with Malcolm Brown and Lawrence Guy, because Adam Butler, he's slimmed down. He's 280 pounds. He's more of that hybrid guy in the mold of the Jermaine Cunninghams, the Dominique Easleys. He's not a pure inside defensive tackle. So they're thin there. They could be vulnerable to the run. Patriots really need to get out to a lead very early.
You talked about that. It's funny how coming into the season, we were a little concerned about the defensive line. Now, if Alan Branch, if he's out in New England, if he's kind of seen his last snap, or if he gets traded, or I don't know what his deal is, I don't want to speculate right now. But do you think the Patriots can move forward in 2017 with a defensive line that contains Malcolm Brown and Lawrence Guy as your middle of the line guys?
Yeah, I think they're both very talented players, but you can't expect any defensive tackle unless they're the all-world type of J.J. Watt, Gerald McCoy type of players, and Ndamukong Suh to play more than 60% of the defensive snaps at any given time. And if you have two of your players, just Brown and Guy, they're going to get tired. That's how it works. And unless the Patriots are able to get really early leads, then as we've seen so far this year, that's not been the case. They get into very high scoring affairs. Unless the Patriots can eliminate the run, then they're going to get into trouble in the fourth quarter, as the other team's just going to be able to run down the clock if the Patriots ever need to mount a comeback. So that's definitely a cause for concern. Maybe I think that Branch will have a chance to rebound. Maybe he'll be a 40% type of snap player. He won't be the 60% guy he was last year. He could still develop a role. Alternatively, Vincent Valentine should be able to return around after the bye week, week 8, week 9, week 10. Hopefully his knee will have been fully recovered. He'd be a very, very helpful boost. They could also re-sign Woodrow Hamilton, who's currently available. He was the rookie that spent the time with the team last year. He's available. They have D'Angelo Blackson on the practice squad. Also thinking of, for veterans, Jared Odrick, former Miami Dolphin and Jacksonville Jaguar player, still available. Patriots brought him in before the season, ended up not signing him. That's a name to monitor. Maybe even Arthur Jones, brother of Chandler Jones. He's provides some of that 3-4, 4-3 defensive front interior versatility that New England likes. So there are a lot of options there, not necessarily great ones, and definitely not providing any level of ability similar to what Alan Branch was doing the past 2 years. But they have options. You also have to think that Alan Branch can make some sort of a return, but I don't think they can last the full season with just the two of these guys.
No, I agree with that. And I think it's even more reason for us to rely heavily on Trey Flowers. He's actually my defensive X factor today. Trey Flowers is a good pass rusher. He's probably the best pass rusher the team has. He's got a great matchup today against left tackle Donovan Smith. He was a weak link on the Bucs offensive line. Played well against the Giants, but he's been very, very inconsistent throughout the course of this season. Not a very good guy with his feet. He's more of a power blocker. He's susceptible to kind of the inside moves, the outside moves, the spins, and the rips. I think Trey Flowers can make a lot of plays along the edge there and be very disruptive in the backfield. So hopefully guys like Trey Flowers, Dietrich Wise, the edge rushers, can compensate for the maybe thinness at defensive tackle right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots can on the pass works, but they need to be able to factor. Actually, I'm interested to see what his role is with the team. He was playing on the edge last week. He's been limited with his knee injury, but if Dante Hightower can come out, he can provide some value as a pass rusher, sure, but he definitely needs to be out there stopping the run early and often, help the Patriots build up an early lead. Dante Hightower needs to have his best game of the year. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of options otherwise, but this has to be his come out party for earning that big new contract this offseason. He needs to come out and be the linebacker that he was the past few seasons. And if he can do that, Patriots should be in good shape.
No, I agree. I'd like to see him back in the middle of the field again. I think he's better as a middle linebacker than an edge rusher. He's versatile, which is really nice. But this experimental, vaunted Bill Belichick don't cover anybody defense isn't really working. And I think Dante Hightower is the guy to turn that around. David Harris is active tonight. I'll just say that. I don't know how much snaps he's going to see, but David Harris will be playing. Maybe we'll see him as a run stuffer. Who the hell knows? But one thing we can take consistently, at least in theory, Bill Belichick, what he does, he tries to take away your best weapon, make you beat them with everybody else. The best weapon, I think, is Mike Evans. I think he's the guy you got to factor out of the offense today if you can. Very tall order. So if Mike
Yeah,
Evans,
not easy.
No, not easy to do. And assuming the fact that, Kelvin Benjamin had 40 yards on either side of him every time he got the ball last week, not the best matchup to go up against this week. However, if the Patriots are able to successfully, A, cover Mike Evans, and B, cover him successfully, who do you see as the guy that can be that guy that beats the Patriots and it's not Mike Evans?
Yeah, I mean, other than Mike Evans, I talked about him a few times, Adam Humphries. I think that Deshaun Jackson is a boom-bust type of player. He's one of the best deep threats in league history, but if you can take away that deep throw, and I hope Daron Harmon is up to the task for that, if you can eliminate that deep pass to Deshaun Jackson, he might be, a 3-catch, 60-yard type of player, which is something that the Patriots can handle. I think the same thing applies to the tight ends with Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard. Maybe they'll get their 2 catches, 40 yards. Patriots can handle that. Is going to go out there, be an option every single time out of the slot, especially with the Patriots thinner in the secondary, having some troubles with their communications. Look set back. They'll probably have Mike Evans at the point. That Stephon Gilmore will be there. But that'll give Deshaun Jackson a little bit of a free range up the side. And then Adam Humphries will be on the inside. He can either, depending on what he's reading, run across the field, go outside, whatever he can do to cause a lot more of the miscommunications for the Patriots. Maybe that'll spring something open for Evans. Maybe that'll spring something open for Deshaun Jackson. I see a lot of opportunities for Humphries to really confuse this New England secondary. And maybe this will be the time that the Patriots pull it all together and they really make a step forward this season. Not sure. After 4 weeks of not doing it, I can't say with any confidence that this is the week they'll finally do it. But Humphries is the Bucs player that concerns me the most. Not a household name, but he's a name to watch out for.
All right, so we got the Patriots with no Gronkowski on the road. Defense is in shambles. Short week, coming off a big loss to a mobile quarterback. How do you see this game playing out? Are the Patriots going to win this game, or is it going to go to 2-3 for the first time since I don't even know when?
Yeah, I think it's the first time since 2001, which, to be fair, didn't turn out too poorly. But the Patriots have not had a losing record after week 5 of a season since 2002.
Wow. It's
been a really long time. It's been a very, very, very long time. And is this going to be the first time it happens? In covering the Patriots, I'm not sure. Usually I would be able to say with some degree of confidence that, yeah, they'll figure it out. They can overcome the loss of all of these players on offense because they still have Tom Brady and they have a Bill Belichick defense. Remove any quality defense, I don't know. I honestly am not sure. I think that would be in trouble. This game is going to be a high-scoring affair. I don't know if we're doing the game predictions yet, but this could be really a make or break game for the Patriots this season. Not saying that their season will be over if they lose, but it's a very strong indication of the quality of team that they have. And if they aren't able to pull it together, best case scenario, we're looking at another 2009 type of year. Worst case scenario, this could be a 2002, and they miss the playoffs entirely.
Well, to that point, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I'm going to make my prediction right now. I think the Patriots lose this game, and this game tonight is going to be that annual kick in the pants that they need to turn it around. They go on the road, short week, no Gronk. Nothing's going to go right tonight. It's going to be not a convincing Buccaneers victory, but not one of those last-second field goals we saw last week. They're going to have the long week. They're going to have the mini bye. They're going to come back the following. I think it's the Jets after that, and they're going to put a hurting on the Jets, and the season turns around after tonight. However, I am saying Tampa Bay at home with the weapons they have, with the lack of defensive ability the Patriots have, the lack of Gronk. I don't think they get it done. So I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win this one 31-20.
Oh, wow. That is a very decisive victory for Tampa right there. I was actually going to go the opposite direction. I think that this is going to be a game that doesn't determine either direction. I don't see the Patriots figuring out or resolving their problems until after the bye week. I'm looking midpoint of the season. So I think they'll just continue to drag it out. Patriots win this one. It won't be a high-scoring affair. from what we've seen the past few weeks, I think the Patriots win this one in a very, very close game. 28-20, second field goal. And we come back head wondering if the Patriots defense is ever going to get it figured out.
I love how holding a defense offense to under 30 points is not a high-scoring game, and that's where we're at, and I'm with you on that. Again, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to come in here and talk to you next week about how I was wrong on this one. You predicted a big win in their home opener, and it didn't go that well. I'll predict a big loss in Thursday night game. Hopefully it goes horribly for me. We'll even it out, and we can come back into the next Jets game refreshed and at an even level.
Absolutely. And so podcast Monday night. So until then, have a good one.
See you, bud.